Hello, and thank you very much for joining me in the studio today. I'm about to do something that I think is going to be a challenge. It's going to put two parts actually. The canvas I'm using is a 24 by 20, and you can use any canvas you want. I pre-gessoed it and I put a ground of, as you can see, burnt umber on there, just making sure my big head's not in the shot. Looking at the palette very quickly while I pick up the brush. We got some Ceylon blue, we got some ultramarine blue, we got some yellow. I mixed up some green, we got some burnt umber, some black and some white. They're my neutral colours, and that's basically it. So I'll put that up on the screen. Okay, so I'm just going to go into a bit of my medium mix. As you know, I use that is available at the shop. There we go. And or you can use water, it's up to you. I'm going to pick up some white on my brush, and I'm going to go and pick up a little bit of cerulean blue first, and then I'm going to go into my sky, and I'm just going to put that in like this, and hopefully what I got planned is going to work. I don't know. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I've been a bit nervous about doing it, and I thought, well, it's either going to be a good painting or an absolute fail, and I don't mind showing failures. So anyway, let's stay positive. Put in some blue and white into the sky area, and I'm not too worried about brush strokes and things in there. I'm going to pick up a little bit of ultramarine blue. I want some darker areas there, some warm areas. Mixing a little bit of blue in there. There we are, nice dark area. Let's just put some dark areas in there like that. Again, picking up some white, some Ceylon blue. I'm going to come down to about there, I think. That's going to be roughly where my horizon is. A little bit lighter down here, like that. A little bit of moisture, because it is dragging a little bit. A bit warm in the studio. It is a bit warm in the studio today, which makes a change. We did have a spot of rain earlier, but I want this to be like a soft focus then. I want this to be soft focus. That's what I'm looking for on this painting today. So to focus everything in the background and the midground is going to be able to focus. That's what I'm trying to achieve today, which should be okay. But I could have done with the studio just a little bit cooler, because the paint is drying on me a touch, and I don't know where I put my mister bottle. There it is. Okay, so we've got to be careful we don't get paint lift on days like this, but I'm just wetting down the canvas just a little bit. And if you haven't got a spray bottle, then you can pop along to the website www.clive5art.co.uk, and you can pick one up there if you want to. Okay, so let's just put a little bit more dark into this sky. Again, just picking up a little bit of ultramarine blue. There we are. Just merging that in there like that. Just bringing in a bit of dark colour like this. Maybe a little bit up there like that. There we are. Okay, what I'm going to do is pick up a blending brush. That's one of those blending brushes, a pony hair brush. That's a 1-inch one. Again, these are available on the website if you haven't got one. I'm just going to very lightly, very lightly caress that canvas and blur all that together like that. I want to blur it. I want a little bit of moisture, because it's just starting to dry on me sometimes. Gotta be careful. I want us to merge and blend together like that. There we go. Don't want any rough edges, don't want any sharp edges. I just wanted to just merge and blend like that together. Nice warm sky. It's out of focus basically. I'm just going to get a little bit of white just on the tip of this 1-inch brush, and I'm just going to put a flick in a couple of clouds like this. I've got a bit of blue on this brush, I'm not bothered. I'm just putting some flicky clouds in like that. And the way this paint is starting to dry, I'm just going to get my blending brush straight away, and I'm just going to blend that in, fluff up the tops of those clouds, blend that in like that. Just basically brush it in very gently. It's so light. A lot of air and no hair. There you go, just lighten that in, blend that in like that. Just a delicate touch, very delicate touch. You've got to practice that touch. I like using these blending brushes because they're quite soft. Very, very lightly. Just like tickle the hairs on the back of your hand. That light. Tickle the hairs on the back of your hand. You can blend it in with a brush like this if you wanted to. You could do that. There we go. Just some cloudy shapes. Just some cloudy shapes like that. Very lightly. Very lightly like that. Oops. Just hit that a little bit hard then and I destroyed that cloud. And I like that cloud by there. So let's put another bit of lightness to that sky like that. There you go. I'll do. Nice fluffiness. Nice fluffiness to that sky. I hope you can see that on camera, how delicate that is in fact. Okay, so I'm going to dry that off with a hairdryer now because I want to build these in layers. So let's dry that off with a hairdryer. I got a stippling brush here, and this is one of my brushes that I sell on the website actually. I quite like this for trees, that's why I decided to get these brushes done for me, and because they're lovely for, they're actually lovely for stippling, putting grass in and trees and all that type of stuff. So I want a slightly light colour, but I don't want it too light. I'm looking for quite a mid-green maybe. And then what I do then is I tap that. Some of these hairs come out, so don't worry about that because it's a natural bristle brush. It is going to shed a little bit. And I'm just going to put some trees in like this and just tap it in like that. That colour like that. Could be a hedgerow, could be just trees. Who knows? Who knows what that is? A little bit darker down here. And I wanna get a little bit of darker colour, maybe in there like that. My board is tapping. I don't know why what that is, but it doesn't matter. Tippy 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 tippy. You can hear it tapping my board. There we go. Bring that down like that. You can bring a bit of this light colour in front of that. Now it looks as if that's slightly in front then. And just put some like that. A bit of dark in between. Let's build that up. I'm going to stop at that point. I'm going to get myself a blending brush. I've got a couple of these on the go. What I want to do now is very lightly again, very lightly, I'm going to smooth that in like this. Smooth that in very lightly. Just take the edge off it. Take the edge off it like that. There you go. I'm going to get a little bit darker green now, and I'm just going to put in some shadow down there like that. I wanted a soft focus type of look, but I don't think I'm going to get that. I don't think I'm going to be able to achieve that so much because the acrylics are drying so fast today. So I'm just putting some shadows in under these bush trees, whatever you want to call them, tree bushes. Okay, let's take up a little bit of a lighter colour. Let's just put some old trees in. Just a massive green, because there's so many trees and bushes there that you can't tell where any branches and that are. All you got is some colour of green, but we know they're trees because this is a field. So put some bushes in front of that one like that. Just do a mass of colour. That's all you want, is a mass of colour like that. A little bit of yellow, maybe. Just picking up a little bit of contrast on these. Picking up like that. I hope this is going to work actually. I want this to work today. A nice green colour coming in there now like that. Just cleaning the brush off. I'm just brushing it down onto the area like this. Now, I'm going to put a bit of a darker area here, because this bunch of bushes, or whatever they are going to be slightly forward to the back there. So we want that to come in maybe like that. There you go. And I'm going to try, I'm just doing that just to get the excess paint off my brush. I'm going to try and soften that up now. It's out of focus, so we want to soften it. There's another way that we can knock that back in a second. We can knock that back in a second. But I'm just going to put a little bit of highlight using this brush, just using a bit of highlight now, and just finding a little bit of highlight on these bushes like that. There we go, a little bit of contrast. Just tap it in like that. It's simple, isn't it? It's a simple stipple actually. And I'm sure that, you know, with a bit of practice, use a small canvas if you want. A little bit of practice, you're going to achieve your goals. There we go. And I'm just going to soften that down again, very, very lightly. Very, very lightly like that. There you go. That'll do. That will do. Am I going to use this stippling brush? No, I'm going to just chuck that into some water. I'm going to pick up, well, I put my 1" short flat. I'm going to pick up my 1" short flat now. And I'm going to go into some of this green. There we are. And we're going to just put this in like that. It's as easy as that. Just paint this in. It should be quite an easy painting for you. It shouldn't give you too many problems, too many headaches. Because it's out of focus, then it doesn't matter, does it? You know, you're practicing. Just put a bit of darker colour under there, like that. Just give it a little bit of definition. A little bit of moisture. Coming down. Lightening the green a little bit as we come down. There we go. Building our green up. Been thinking about this painting for quite a while actually. There's no easy way to get paint on a canvas this size. You've just got to take your time and do that. What I think I'll do, I'll just speed this up a bit. Okay, so at this stage I'm just gonna let that dry off a touch. I don't need to blend that in because it's all nice and smooth and looks a bit out of focus, but it's important now that I actually let that dry off. I'm just going to hit that with a hairdryer, not itchy, not punch it, just go over it with a hairdryer. And then I'm just going to mist back that background and just going to blur it back, and then we're going to start working on the foreground, which should be quite easy in fact. Well, I hope. I've dried that off now, and I've decided I'm going to use some cotton buds. These rings, yes. We've seen a lot of paintings lately with cotton buds. The reason I'm doing that is because I think this is going to make this process a lot quicker. So I'm going to tap that into some white paint, like that. And then I'm just going to hold my breath, and I'm just going to tap in some white marks, like this, in the field. There we go. Bring a couple down like that. Tap them in there like that. A bit more white paint on the brush. Just tap. Bring some around here. What are we doing? Dandelions. Yes. Dandelions. I remember blowing them. I remember picking them up and blowing them. 1, 2, and we're making wishes. So dandelions are either a field of weeds or a field of wishes. Yeah. Field of weeds or a field of wishes. We were told if we picked dandelions when we were a child that we would wet the bed. So it was a number of years before I actually picked one of them. And, there we go. Dandelions. As you come forward, just push a little bit more, like that. I think that's about as far as we can get away with cotton bud dandelions. There we go. And chuck it in the bin. There we go. Now, let's get a strip liner. I got one here somewhere. Got a little bit of burnt umber. Dandelion stalks are like a raw sienna type of colour. So what we do, we're going to mix a little bit of yellow with some burnt umber, and that'll take us near enough to the colour I'm looking for, rather than getting some more paint on the palette. And then just very quickly, just put some little lines here and there like that. You put as many of these in as you want. But it's just to add a little bit of colour here and there. Look, you don't have to do it all over, just enough to grab your eye and say, oh look, there's stalks there. You can see little stalks and that. There we go. See little stalks and things. There you go, like that. I'll fade away to virtually nothing in a second. When it's wet, you can see it more. If you watch that area there now, as it will dry, it'll just disappear into the green. That's all you want, is just that essence of stalks. Stalks, stalks, stalks. What we can do is bring a bit of this green colour now, and just bring some leaves maybe. Like that. A little bit of yellow, green, just to, like as if it's just catching the light as a touch like that. Look, there we go. Just breaks that edge up. I hope you can see. It just breaks that edge up like that. Dandelions. Field of wishes. Painting away the stress of everyday life here in Wales with Clive. Okay, I won't do any more than that, as I want to bring this up a little bit closer to us now. And I'm going to pick one of these brushes. This is a natural hair brush. There we go. Natural hair brush. It's a 1 inch. And again, I'm just going to go into some green like this. I'm just going to stipple that brush into the green. I'm going to try and find a nice green. That's going to work. A little bit dark, I think. and I'm just going to push up some grass like this. Let me secure my edge of my canvas here. Just come away from the palette. There we go, off the easel. Palette? Easel. Very easy. Just a little bit of highlight, a little bit of shadow. Just flicking up your brush like that. Just getting that colour in. Making it look as if there's grass there. I hope you can see. And let's put a little bit of lighter colour in this area there, like that. Just little bits of grass. Flick up. Flick up now. Just drag it up. Blur it a little bit. Don't worry about it being sharp. It doesn't have to be sharp. That's not what we're looking for now. We're looking for grass, but we want it slightly out of focus. Now, and it's slightly out of focus. Lots of lovely little grass snakes and ladybugs and all these wonderful little things, crickets. Oh, they all live in this field of dandelions. There's a little hedgehog that lives under that bush up there. He comes out at night, he does. Yeah. Just bringing the grass up. Like that. Get those brush strokes just a little bit bigger down here. Like that. Now I've got a brush. This is just a scraggly old brush. It's a number 2, supposed to be round brush, which I used to use for oil painting. So it's a natural bristle brush. I'm just going to get some white paint. I'm really going to splay this brush. I'm going to twist my hand like that. I'm going to splay it like that. And it's always the best thing to actually test that. See what it looks like. Okay, maybe there's a bit too much paint in that, but let's go for it. No, that's not working exactly as I thought it would. So what we're going to do, we're going to get a scissors, and then we're going to cut the bristles on that. There we go. And then we're going to try again. It doesn't look like dandelions to me. Job in progress. Okay, so that's in the bin. Let's have a think. Let's have a think. Maybe just a little filbert brush then, and we'll just there could be a massive dandelion heads there, massive dandelion heads there. If there's a merce, just put a merge of dandelion heads in there. There we are, that'll do. Okay, now let's just make these a bit bigger. Just put some dots in. Maybe we'll want a bigger brush, in fact. I don't know, maybe we do. I told you this is job in progress, so I normally paint one of these things before I actually do something like this, but it doesn't matter. It's just, I gotta remember these are fluffy things. These are fluffy things. But as it, in the distance, you're not going to see so much. Anyway, put that there a second. Let's get some of this burned and burn white. Let's just bring up a couple of one there, and we'll put a little thing there. We put maybe one there. We'll put some one there and one there. Put a little bit of white on the top of that, and just get a little bit of, I think they've just blown off. Yeah, they've just blown off. What do they look like? There you go. And let's get some green and put some leaves in. Okay, let's get a small detail brush. There you go. Because there was a bit of wind blowing, maybe. Yeah, it is. Because they're not all got heads on them. Some of them are just blown, and some of them are just a few little bits here and there like that. See? There we go. We're going to have a bit of fun in a second. I think we will. What can I do now? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Is that dry enough? Maybe we can just put a. Maybe we can just get a little bit of zinc mixing white. There we go. A little zinc mixing white. Use a little bit of titanium white if you want to, but if you haven't got any zinc mixing white, but be very careful, because zinc mixing white does tend to be, titanium white does tend to be a little bit opaque, and I don't want this to be opaque. I want it to be semi-transparent. That's why I'm using this, and I can thin that down as much as I like with my medium mix formula. There we are. Just thin that down. You've seen me do this before, and I'm just going to go over that. Just to knock down that green in the background. I just want to mist it off, basically. Just take the colour off. Picked up a little bit too much paint there, it doesn't matter. Let's just mist down that. There you are, like that. Just to knock it back a bit. Give it a little bit of distance. Give it a little bit of distance. That's what we're looking for. And you will see the effect now when it dries. Is that cheating? No. It's just using the tools and the abilities that you've got to hand. There we are. Just merging that in together. A bit of moisture. Don't want to come down too close or we'll start picking our green up. There we go. Just mist it off. Make it blurry. You see what we're doing? I hope so. Mist that off like that. Now we've got to think now. We've got to think. We have got to think. Let's get, wonder what we can accomplish with, a fan brush. I'm making this up as I go along now. Bit of green. Let's get this grass really long. I'm using the fan brush on the edge like this. A little bit of dark green, a little bit of light green. Let's get this, making it look as if it's right there in the front. This grass is so long in the front like that. Got some short grass and you've got some long grass. There we are, put some short grass in there, just to give it a bit of bring a bit of colour down here like that. How's that? It's looking better, isn't it? It is. It's looking better. I tell you what we could do, we put our fan brush by there, and let's get a bit of this burnt umber. I'm picking up a little short flat. I don't want to keep cleaning my brushes because it takes so much time. And let's put a big dandelion there. Let's put another little dandelion stalk there, like that. We could have another dandelion coming out there like that. Big ones. There we go. Now I've got an idea for this, and it involves kitchen rolls. Yes, toilet rolls. Kitchen roll holders, which are toilet roll holders like that. There you go. So what you're going to do is you're going to obviously take off any excess of your toilet roll like that. And this is quite a fun way of doing something. Is it going to work? I don't know, but I don't mind trying. So we're going to get our toilet roll like that and be very careful and just slice up and make very thin lines like that. And you can make some smaller lines and you make bigger lines. And you just work your way around that. I'm going to do it all. Because I've already done some. And these are the ones that I made earlier. Where are they? Okay. Now, whoop, dropped it in the bucket. Oh, getting too old to bend down there. These are the ones I made earlier. This is a conventional size toilet roll holder, which I've cut. I've also made a slightly smaller one, which I stapled together. Look, I made it slightly smaller. Don't know if that'll work. But that goes inside that one. So we don't know until we try these things, but I made a tiny one as well, so that might actually work there. And I got to decide, is that going to be too big? I don't know. Maybe it is. We don't know. Are we going to spoil this painting? Well, it's only a painting at the end of the day. It does not matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get just an old plastic tray or anything like that. You can see I've already practiced a little bit with this, just to make sure that it does work. So I'm just going to get some white paint on my little palette like that. There we go. I'm just going to get a brush and then I'm going to just wet this down. I'm going to thin that paint down a touch. I don't want it too thick. I don't want it too thin. So we're just going to judge that a little bit. There we go. Now fingers crossed this will work. If it doesn't work, it's going to be a mess. And if it's a mess, then, well, I'm going to still put the video out anyway, because you can see me trying. And I haven't practiced this before, so let's just hope that everything works. I hope it does. Okay, that's still drying off at the moment, but let's try the baby one first, shall we? And we just tap that in like that. Tap it in like that. Fill it up full of paint. Give it a little squirt, a little squidge. Take a little bit of off. Take a little bit off. I found it always works best. And fingers crossed. Let's go for it. It doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad at all. There we go. We can put another one there. Yeah, I like that. There you go. There's one there, there's one there. I think we put another one. Maybe. But there as well. There we go. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to do the bigger one, but you mean I'll do another one on another canvas. I'll play around with this on another canvas. In fact, what you could do, if you wanted to, you could just put maybe one just off there like that. I think that's cool. I'm just going to put that one side, put this down safe, and let's have a look at a little filbert brush now, and let's just put a center in there. And let's just put a center in there like that. Put a little center in there like that. And we could get a little tiny detail brush. Thin that down with a little bit of water. We could just put some thicker lines just coming out like that, just to represent some more stalks maybe. And then we could put a little one there like that. He's flying away like that. And they've always got a little bit of a brown spot there like that. There we go, little brown spot like that. And talking about a brown spot, let's just put a little bit of colour just in there. Now we got a stalk. We need a brush to put some stalks in here. Let's get this brush again, and let's just put this little one there like that. And there's that little just put a thing like that. Let's get some dark leaves. Oh, picked up the yellow. Get some dark leaves, because they got quite strong dark leaves on these things, dandelions. They've got quite strong dark leaves on them. There we go. I don't know exactly what they look like, but it doesn't matter. Just make it up yourself. They're weeds basically, aren't they? They're weeds basically, but they're full of wishes. That's what we like about dandelions. There we go. Just put a little bit of highlight on those dandelions like that. So we've used cotton buds, and we've used kitchen roll, which we've cut. And it's amazing what you can actually make, and things you can actually work with from around the house, in fact. So what I suggest you do is experiment, and don't be afraid of failure. When I started this painting, I was a little bit worried that maybe things wouldn't work out as I wanted, and it's not perfect, but it shows that if you've got a little bit of confidence and you've got a little bit of ability, then you can accomplish anything that you want to accomplish, and you can paint a field of poppies and a field of wishes. And if you want wishes, this is the thing to paint. Definitely is. There we go. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and thank you for painting away the stress of everyday life here in Wales with me, and I hope you have many hours of fun attempting things like this. And until next time, I'll see you on another lesson. Bye bye. Nice.
It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time, and don't forget to click subscribe.